What is good, Lottery Stocks fam? I am finally back. It feels so good to be back. I appreciate all of the wishes and support you guys showed while I was gone. I'm here to talk about a couple of things, and it's not to necessarily prep you for the overall market. We got a lot that happened with GameStop and AMC. I also posted a long-term portfolio video that was posted while I was away, and in that portfolio, people were wondering where GameStop and AMC were. First, I don't consider these long-term investments, though they have turned out that way. In other words, they are for short squeeze play, just like they always have been, and they are for fixing market corruption. That is for a whole nother script or video to talk about. Now, Adam Aaron, Netflix, AMC, HYMC, GameStop. There's a lot going on that we're going to cover. Watch until the end. I'll try to make this short, sweet, simple, to the point. And yeah, I appreciate you guys showing all the love and support in the comments down below. Make sure to like the video to engage the algorithm and push this video out to more people like yourselves. Netflix and AMC has come to a partnership together, finally. Now, Netflix and AMC to start a new era of theatrical releases for the streamer, beginning with K-pop Demon Hunters. Adam Aaron posted about this. This is real news, announced yesterday. AMC and Netflix, yada, 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 have jointly decided to work together. You go down and you want to pay attention to what is important. Yes, it will play up on approximately 400 AMC screens across its theaters in the US and Europe. That's a lot. On top of that, this is, in my opinion, the most important thing to take out of this is that while the two companies have not had a commercial relationship in recent years, both companies, Netflix and AMC, are intrigued by the mutually beneficial opportunities that could possibly arise from this in future collaboration. In other words, a $510 billion company, Netflix, the biggest streaming service out there, and then the 1.5 maybe billion-dollar theater chain, AMC, so a huge difference, right? One is 500 times the size, the other one. Both are going to see if this outcome is good, if this partnership is good, mutual possible opportunity in the future, which is way more huge for AMC. Obviously, it's big for Netflix, but this is big news in my opinion. Discussions are underway as to what that may entail, but no further details are being shared at this time. In other words, they are already talking about future opportunities, and the first piece of news was released to you. This is the first, specifically the first piece of news. None are confirmed following this, but they are in talks. Big for AMC. Gonna bring in some revenue. Is it gonna completely turn the company around off of one catalyst? No, but the partnership that was opened up is insane. HYMC has been rallying. We had our charts looking like this since May of this year, relatively, right? Somewhat bullish on HYMC. Then we saw the cup and handle forming. Then we saw this possible breakout coming up towards $7. It has now exceeded our expectations, coming up to $9.80. People have asked me, Lottery Stocks, are you holding HYMC? I currently do not have a position, but it does look somewhat enticing. Let's talk about it very quickly. When is AMC going to be profitable? If you don't know, AMC holds HYMC. Now, let's talk about the bad news first. Bad news. AMC holds HYMC, but their significance is a lot lower, seeing that HYMC has diluted shares. They've diluted the stock price, as well as institutions have loaded the boat and bought more shares, accumulating much, much greater than AMC's ownership for institutional ownership in this company. Okay, now that that's out of the way, the good news is that gold is at 4,250 an ounce, and it came all the way up to almost 4,400, likely heading towards 5,000. Nobody knows when this bullet train is going to stop. The same thing goes for silver. So these mining companies are very good. Also, AMC bought somewhere back here. They are a bag holder in this company. They are red on their investment. Those are the negatives mixed with the positive, with gold and silver flying. Obviously, the company doing good. However, I have more positives for you. The positives are that somewhere around this accumulation zone down here that we saw, this slight accumulation. The company diluted. What happened after they diluted? Well, the stock price rose higher. What does that signal? That, alongside institutional ownership being very high, shows that there is likely more room for upside, or that there is just a lot of confidence in this play, and it could be the beginning. We did not retrace lower than the dilution level, and therefore this may continue to climb. So if that is the case, and we are bullish on metals, in which case we are, that why they are running, all that other stuff, it would make the video too long. We're talking about AMC and GameStop here, HYMC, mutually benefiting each other. So if it continues higher, which we believe it will, the levels I'm watching are 1171 and 1337 before we even reevaluate further from there. So write that on your chart. But shout out Tony Denaro. We have a table, a futuristic scenario table as to HYMC's share price and what AMC's value will be. So feel free to screenshot this. This is where they are going to make money and how much money they are going to make. One thing I can tell you is this isn't a huge thing for AMC. It's not that significant, their ownership. They bought about 27 million or so, give or take some change. Don't quote me on that. And the share price for AMC would, or HYMC would have to go parabolic, and then AMC would have to let go of their investment if things went parabolic, which is possible. However, the company is allowed to dilute more and will need to dilute more for the upcoming huge projects that they have planned. Given their earnings is November 5th, AMC's earnings is November 10th, and if we get anything good out of HYMC, AMC should also look very good. That's going to bring us into the chart. We had sort of a delayed pattern happening. We're not going to pay too much attention to the pattern. I'm going to walk you through a couple of things, but pay attention to this blue cycle pattern that we have drawn out. This correlated perfectly to our charts, brings AMC to this low, which is very soon, and lines up with a pop late October. That also leads into November earnings. In case AMC was going to have something very good, we would see some covering prior to that. So right now, that's our point of interest. We're not putting a lot of heavy weight on that. Here's what I can tell you from a technical analysis perspective, disregarding cycles, disregarding catalysts. Here is what you're risking on the chart for AMC, and it is this liquidity zone down here. And this is anywhere from 247 to 238. Okay, 247 to 238. If AMC share price were to take a nosedive, this is the zone where AMC would likely get bought up at some point. Am I saying it's going there? No. Is it going to continue to sell off? Probably not. It looks like it's at a good spot, but you're also risking a couple of other grabs. Obviously, this grab down here around 265, that correlates right here. Or there's also these grabs down here right around high 250s. All of that is insignificant if you've been a holder since 2021, and I do believe the price will go higher, but you are risking another 10 to 13% downside as to if AMC has very good news. I'd watch minimum. I think the stock is worth 385, and we should see a minimum algorithmic pump towards $6-7, which is 100 to anywhere between 1 and 200% gain. So we have what I would call this huge region on AMC's chart, and we're on the much lower half of the region where I believe it's, in my opinion, a good investment based on new partnerships with Netflix, new talks with Netflix, ownership in a company that has now zero debt, and is in the metal space. So shout out AMC. I see way more significance to the upside. So we got that out of the way. Also, I'm very glad to be back. This feels so good to be talking with you guys. GameStop. Before we talk about the charts and the cycles, let me talk about one thing. And this isn't me covering Bitcoin. That is for another video again. But Bitcoin did wick down to 103, which is one level we talked about. I'm getting ahead of myself here. The point being, bringing up the Bitcoin chart, is that I want to focus on, I hope, and we hope, that Ryan Cohen, the GameStop board, did not fumble the bag. Their Bitcoin investment is going to be very crucial to whatever news we get next, as well as where this market is heading, as well as how they're playing their cards and where they are positioning. What's good about that is I believe, I'll leave that for tomorrow's video, actually talking about the entire trajectory of the market, crypto market, as well as the SPY. GameStop's chart. Are we going to continue to sell off? Likely not. And I know that sounds way too optimistic, and it's because, oh, Lottie sucks because you make these videos. No, I am an investor in this company. We are 42 days into what I would call the cycle I'm tracking. The last time it bottomed out, right here, 40 days in. The last time prior to that, 43 days in. So we're right around that region. And then 39 days in. This was an algorithmic move. It didn't count because we saw the peak following that. Roaring Kitty was back here. Algorithms went nuts, right? So 39 days in, 43, 40. Now we're at 42. Any day now, we could see a move. Now, could it be extended? Probably not. Now, why is that? Well, it all lines up around this zone, but it also lines up perfectly within this channel. We have come right back to GameStop's, what I would say, undervalued to fair value ranges, and we are testing this trend line. I would say that this is probably the cheapest you should be able to buy GameStop at $22.90. I believe that's probably the cheapest you should be able to buy it out. And if you're able to buy it lower, you're a very, very lucky investor. And what low are you kind of risking? Well, I would say you're probably risking this liquidity box down here if GameStop were to sell off. Now that would be risking anywhere under $20.30 to $18.30. That is the risk you're looking at if things got very bad, but we really need to see something else be triggered within the markets for that to happen. We still likely see the upside potential of a $52 plus move, which is 130% higher. And AMC and GameStop are both looking like they are at their lows. It's always a waiting game. If you're getting frustrated, and I have too, it is probably because you're playing options, and I have too. I am a victim to this. There's nothing else to say, right? You control your portfolio. You buy, you sell. That is it. But overall, this is my outlook. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. I will state that there's a couple videos I posted while I was gone. One of them being the long-term portfolio you don't see here because I made it unlisted and relisted it. But and then the FINRA rule being removed, I also posted. Very important for anybody watching with less than a $25,000 trading account. Overall, guys, I appreciate all the love and support you show here on the channel. I have never done this before, and I wasn't going to announce it in this video, but you will see my profile picture, my avatar, have sort of a birthday hat, birthday vibe going on at some point within the next month on my birthday. And at that point, the Discord, your first month will be, I'm deciding between 70 to 80% off on that day alone. And I'm not going to announce it. It's just going to be by the profile picture off your first month. So you want to keep an eye out, watch the profile picture for that reason. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, guys. Turn that notification bell on and join the Discord down below. All that good stuff. I have some beautiful links for you. And let me know your thoughts on the partnership, Bitcoin, GameStop's holdings, everything, gold, whatever it is. I would love to hear your thoughts. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.